My camcorder has a very good optical stabiliser, so my static shots don't suffer from camera shake. However, they do exhibit what I call camera drift. This is when, over the length of the clip, the frame wanders about very slowly. You're probably wondering why I don't use a tripod. Well, that's a good question, but the idea of carrying a tripod around with me on my vacations doesn't really appeal to me. Thankfully, the video stabilisation tool that's built into Vegas Pro 17 and Movie Studio 17 Platinum does a really good job of fixing the frame rock solid. Now, 99% of the time, it's just a case of applying the tool and waiting for it to do its job. However, occasionally the scene proves a little troublesome for the tool. In these situations, it's necessary to apply an additional tool that allows the stabiliser to do its job properly. Keep watching and I'll explain. Welcome to tutorial number 21. For this tutorial I'll be using Movie Studio 17 Platinum, but the procedure is virtually the same with Vegas Pro 17. Now on the timeline I have a clip that exhibits what I call camera drift. I'll just demonstrate that. You can see here the scene is supposed to be static, but it's drifting ever so slightly. In Movie Studio 17 Platinum, the Video Stabiliser plugin has to be applied as a media effect. At this point it may be worthwhile taking a little time to talk about how effects are applied to video events. A video event is a section of the timeline that's occupied by a length of video. The event can be part or all of a video file. It can also be a length of generated media such as a title. Now, there are two ways of applying video effects to an event. They are applied as either an event effect or a media effect. If applied as an event effect, the effect is applied to the individual event. In other words, if a video event is split into two or more parts and an event effect is applied to one of the parts, the effect will only apply to that one part. If, on the other hand, the effect is applied as a media effect, the effect is applied to the media as a whole. All events on the timeline that are part of that media will have the effect applied. Now that's an awful lot of detail to get your brain around, so I'll try and demonstrate that with the clip I've got on the timeline. What I'll do is I'll split the event. So now I have two events on the timeline. There are two events, but there is only one media event. Now if I apply an event effect to one of the events, we'll see what happens. I'll go to the black and white and apply the 100% black and white to that one event. You'll now see that this event is black and white, yet this event is still colour, even though they're the same media event. I'll now remove that effect. So now they're both back to colour. I will now apply a media effect to one of them. I right click on it, highlight it, right click, select media effect and find a black and white effect. Say OK. This event is black and white, and also this event is black and white. So even though there are two events on the timeline, because they're both the same media, a media effect will apply to both of them. I'll just remove that and then recombine the two with event heal. Now, because they were separated when I did the event heal, we have a loop point. I'll just bring that back to the loop point. Now that demonstration shows the difference between the two effects, the event effect and the media effect. It's important to understand this difference because some plugins can only be applied as media effects, as is the case with the video stabilizer. Now back to the subject. The event on the timeline will be a little bit of a challenge for the stabilizer. The problem is the amount of movement within the frame due to the waves. I'll demonstrate the problem by applying the stabilizer as a media effect, and I'll choose the freeze motion mode. But before I do that, I need to make sure that there's no violent camera movement at the start or end of the event. I'll do that by just trimming at the beginning and end of the event. You'll notice that at the end of the event there's some violent camera movement. And to avoid that affecting the stabilizer, I'll just pull that back to there. Now, because I am going to apply the effect as a media effect, I have to create a subclip. If I don't, the effect will be applied to the media as a whole, including the camera movement at the end. So to create a subclip, I'll right click and select Create Subclip. Now the subclip is a media event in its own right. So I can now go ahead and apply the stabilizer to it as a media effect. The preset I want is freeze motion, and I will start the analysis. Oh, I'm sorry, the analysis window has opened up on the other screen. Okay, we'll now see how that plays. Now you can see that there's still drift there. Now, to give the stabilizer a better chance of working, I've got to eliminate as much of the waves from the scene as possible. This is where another tool, the Bezier Masking tool, comes in. For this to work, the Bezier Masking tool must be applied as the first in the plugin chain. So I will remove that plugin and select the Bezier Masking tool. No, can't do that because that will apply it as an event effect. I must apply it as an immediate effect. Now what I need to do is to create a mask that will virtually eliminate the waves. Something like that. Okay, we'll try that. I'll reduce the blend now. So we now just have a mask showing the rocks. What I have to do now is apply the video stabilizer into the chain. Add. Okay. It's important that they're in this order because the video stabilizer has got to be applied to this mask and not to the whole frame. Again, I will pick freeze motion and click stabilize. The analysis window has opened on the other screen and I've tried to bring it over to this screen, but it won't do it. Okay. So now, if I just disable the Bezier mask and play the clip, you will see that that is virtually rock steady. There's virtually no movement at all there. Once I've done that, then I can safely remove the Bezier mask from the chain. And that will stay rock steady. Now you can see that providing there's a reasonable large section of the frame that's meant to be static, in this case the rocks, this method can produce better results than using the stabilizer on its own. Okay, I think that's enough for now. If you found it useful, please consider subscribing to my channel. I also welcome any comments you may have. Until the next time, bye for now.